Well, I wanted to discuss. I think for this film here, first of all, of course, I wanted to further tell the story about Maleficent and Aurora and discover more about that. But then at the other end of the spectrum, I also wanted to follow Maleficent and discover more who she is. And I think in that sense, this is very much almost like an origin story for Maleficent. And in this story, she becomes an outcast again and is driven into exile, and she discovers that she's not the only one. She's not the only Dark Fey. She's not the only Maleficent in this universe. No, so the first scene where we see Queen Ingrith and Maleficent going at it, it's in the dinner scene. And this is basically, Aurora has basically Queen Ingrith and King John, they have invited Maleficent to dinner to the castle, and Prince Philip and Aurora, they are excited for that. Although I think Aurora is very nervous about how this will go, and during the course of dinner, Maleficent realizes that she's not only there as Aurora's godmother. This whole thing is more like a game. She sees how Queen Ingrith is pushing her buttons and succeeds with it, actually. And shooting the scene, for me as a director, to have Michelle Pfeiffer and Angelina Jolie going at it, it's just fantastic. It's a dream come true to have these amazing actresses, strong women, playing these very strong female, characters in this universe. And also, it's interesting to see how Aurora Elle Fanning, holding her own in that company. It's very, very impressive. Well, I mean, as a character, she's as a villain in the Disney universe, I guess. She has a duality in her, and that's, I think, what makes her interesting as a character. She is a mother to Prince Philip, and at the same time, she feels a very, very strong responsibility for the kingdom of Ulstead, and she really believes she has a real fear, probably due to a childhood trauma, that the Moors are consuming the human side, the Moors and the Moor folks and fairies and pixies and Dark Fey, and she's absolutely convinced that unless she takes them out, they will take her out and the kingdom and the humans. And having Michelle Pfeiffer playing Queen Ingrith, she was absolutely at the top of my list, and because it's tricky, I would say, or almost impossible to find someone that can hold their own against Maleficent and Angelina Jolie. Those were sparks were flying, I think. Angelina knows Maleficent so well, and it's almost like my instinct is to go in that direction. And 9 out of 10 times, I saw Maleficent going in the other direction, because she's not human. She's not like us, and I think that's what Angelina does so well, is to have that, can tap into that almost a sense of surrealism, I would say, and it's so surprising and entertaining and wicked, and I think that's what the audience loves about her, that she has that wickedness to her. such a luxury for me to have these actors, and like for instance, Chiwetel Ejiofor playing Connell, who is actually a dark fey, a forest fey, just like Maleficent, and the leader of the dark fey tribe, and a strong believer in peace between humans and dark fey. You know, but is facing an increased resistance and disbelief in his own tribe, because, you know, the humans are advancing and spearheaded by Queen Ingrith. He's having a harder and harder time to convince the dark fey that there can be peace. You know, and that we can live together. And I think that's his dilemma. That's what he fights for. And that's what he tries to also convince Maleficent of. That there is, you know, a way, a peaceful way. And Maleficent has even shown that, you know, by making Aurora Queen of the Moors. Aurora is a human, you know, so Maleficent is the ultimate evidence that, yes, we can live in peace together. So he's kind of this warrior poet, I would say. I think that was what we talked about. I kind of like that. You know, it's such a luxury as a filmmaker to be able to walk around in these worlds, and of course we have tons of blue screens and green screens and VFX shots and all of that. So that's why I do cherish the days where we do have the big sets, and we like, for instance, the dinner scene, which is in this grand hall in the castle, and it was all built. It's all in camera. You know, we're shooting there for a week, and it's you know, it's probably my favorite week, where we can actually live in the movie and be in the movie, and he's such a big part of that, you know, to create this universe, and to make it feel big and rich, and it's all up there, you know, on the screen.